What's up, guys? Welcome back to another crypto weekly review live stream. All right, let me know if the sound is coming in good, if the lighting's good. If it's not, there's nobody's fault but yours. Okay, so this is the 18th live stream. This is the bottom of the S curve for crypto weekly review. So I hope you bought the dip. Okay, now today we're going to be talking about the bottoms of the bear market. We're going to talk about how to sell the tops and how to buy the bottoms. I'm not going to be fudding, okay? I've been practicing in the mirror to not FUD, okay? I know I'm a troll sometimes, but today is going to be a positive live stream, okay? Make sure to ask all the questions that you want to ask. I'll be running the live chat. So let's get some shout outs out. What's up, Funding Jim? Brian. Ryan Theory, what's up? Last is always first. South Beach Crypto, what's up, guys? How we doing? How are we feeling? Has it felt like this has been dragging on a little bit? When is the bottom? When should we buy? That's what we're going to talk about today, okay? So buckle up. And I know you guys think I'm going to troll, but I'm not. Especially that certain person. I'm not going to roast. We're going to talk about bottoms, all right? What's up, Born Yesterday? Shout out to you. All right? So let's talk about some... Speaking of bottoms, why does Richard Hart dress like the Queen of England? When is he going to change his name to Rachel Hart? Okay. All right. He is the queen of crypto. He called the top on the day. So we'll give him that. All right. Bitcoin on the daily chart. Man, Bitcoin is having some bullish divergence. You can see it is setting a lower low here, but a higher low here. It is gaining momentum. Now, when I sold at 65K, everybody made fun of me. They said that we're going to 100K. El Salvador was adopting Bitcoin. Everybody said 100K, laser eyes. And I sold because things were getting just a little bit euphoric and a little bit crazy. And I knew that the Federal Reserve was going to start tightening a little bit. So I saw the top coming. I sold. It ran to 69K. I was feeling crazy. I was feeling weird, you know, nothing but bullish news, nothing but euphoria. Well, now let's reverse that. We have nothing but bearish news. Like, there is no good news anywhere, not in El Salvador, not in anywhere. So right now, everybody's euphoric to go to like sub 10K, right? So I think like sub 10K is probably going to be our 100K. Now, some of this action right here, where we have the bullish divergence, I'm not sure that this is going to play out because of the general macro sphere. I still think that we're going to dump. We could pump from here, but I still think that we are going to correct lower. And as soon as we get that last flush, I'm going to start DCAing and buying in very slowly. Okay. What's up, WW3? Shout out to you. DB Riley, greetings, fellow canines. Shout out to you, bro. All right. So we have a few things that are nothing better than a juicy bottom. we do have a few things that are concerning that we're going to talk about. First of all, now everybody's been talking about and waiting for the MT Gox thing, right? Well, now 10,000 BTC, now that's like over $100 million worth of BTC has moved into multiple wallets, right? Now, this is the first time that this has happened in about 7 years. So it is kind of a big deal. But what we don't know, we really don't know if they are just sending them to their own wallets or if they're starting distribution through these wallets. But it is looking like they're getting weak hands. It looks like, I don't know if they're like, maybe they're sending it to the SEC lawyer fund for Hex. I don't know. But the BTC is on the move. It's really heavy, especially in this low liquidity market. You know, these people are doing the cold rush. They're leaving centralized exchanges. Liquidity is low right now. And if these start unloading If people start getting these and they start panicking and they start unloading, it's going to get ugly, right? And this is one of the many down pressures right now in the market. Like, this reminds me of the inverse peak of the bull market. Like this is like peak FUD, peak bear market. Right now, you have to start paying attention because this thing could start reversing or start bottoming. Now, I don't know how big this flush is going to be, but something is brewing, and we're going to get into that here in a little bit. We have a lot of stuff going on, okay? So what's up? What's up, Last? What's up, South Beach? Live stream, let's go. All right, I'm getting comfortable. All right. Also, oh yeah. So I wanted to bring this up. So there's a lot of FUD going around that MetaMask is now collecting data, right? So if you want to continue to use MetaMask and be private, you have to add a custom RPC, right? And if you want this data right here, you can. I'll post it into the Telegram chat afterwards. So I'm going to be doing this. Like, remember, we thought that MetaMask was gonna like airdrop us a token, right? Like kind of like Uniswap, but instead they pretty much airdropped our IPs to the feds. Like, that's pretty much what happened. And it's Uniswap is doing it too. So right now is the time. If you want privacy, you have to stay current on the latest like data. You can't. The people who are uninformed are basically going to be spied on and oppressed by big tech. Okay, so all of this is coming. All this spyware is coming on crypto wallets. It's like a soft KYC, right? So like just remember, if you actually want privacy, if you want to be anonymous and things like that, you have to step your game up. Open your MetaMask, add this custom RPC, and they don't track. Okay. Otherwise, you can use MetaMask. Otherwise, you can use My Ether wallet. This is what we were using like back in 2017. You know, like everybody kind of quit using it. MetaMask is a lot smoother, a lot cleaner. But this was how I was like attaching my ledger. And back in those days, now they say that they're not collecting data. So trust me, bro. I don't know. There's no proof of it or anything like that. So if you don't want to do the custom RPC, try using MetaMask. So what's up, guys? Oh shit, chat's blowing up. Greetings, Hands. What's up, man? This time is different. Yeah, I know. This time is different. Last, nothing better than a juicy bottom. Oh yeah, we got you. Hoping for one more huge FUD event to flush us down to 13, 14K, then a slow recovery. So I've been watching, you know, like the Federal Reserve is saying that they're going to slow down on raising rates, but I'm afraid the damage is already done. So no matter, we're going to talk about like WTC and all that stuff and all the FUD overhead, but still, all of this is moving in a macro market. And the macro market is in a lot of trouble. Okay, we have, let's take a look actually real quick. We do have, let's take a look. So like basically, here's a chart showing excess income, right? So basically that just means disposable income. You can see that the quality of life is improving as we continue to grow as an economy and tech and everything evolves. So we've had this like linear trend line, right? Now you can see the Cozy 19 stimulus is right here, pumped everybody's bags. Everybody had a bunch of money, which obviously caused inflation because when you have more currency units chasing the same amount of goods and services, and in fact, everything was shut down, so less goods and services, we had massive inflation. And now what's going on? We're having the bullwhip effect where everything is snapping back. And it's doing the inverse. So now everybody's excess income is pretty much over. That's why credit cards, in the last stream we talked about, credit card debt is mooning. People don't have money to buy the dip. And that's what bottoms look like. I mean, bottoms, I always say capitulation is in your mind and it's not on the chart. Like, people can't afford to buy. You know, that's when you want to have dry powder. That's why it's so important to sell when it is euphoria. You know, like when Hex was pumping, when I started this channel, when Hex was like absolutely going parabolic, I was trying to tell people like, dude, Hex is not a panacea. It's just a staking dApp. It's a cool one. I like it a lot. But like, don't kid yourself. You should sell now, right? And I was basically like ignored, right? They didn't want to put any attention to me. Like they didn't want to FUD me. They didn't want to like troll me or anything like that. Basically, the Hex community just pretended I didn't exist, you know, and it's still for the most part pretty much do. But I was telling people like, dude, no, we're not going to cure cancer and live forever. Like, dude, this is the top, you know, and I was taking profits and stuff like that. So this is the inverse of that, you know. This is when you want to have that dry powder. And I've been sitting this whole time watching these charts this whole time, following the 21 exponential moving average, waiting for a time to buy in. And it's crazy. It's crazy because we're almost at a penny now. By the way, that is when I'm going to 1.27 pennies is when I'm going to do the giveaway. We're only a penny away. Like it's literally one flush away from hitting. And then I'm going to be doing a giveaway of Hex, okay? $1,000 at the bottom of the bear market. Give away the bottom, right? So this is when your dry powder comes into effect, because you can't rely on having money at the lows, because the lows are a overall global macro thing that is putting pressure on everybody. And, you know, food is more expensive. Gas is more expensive. You just don't have the money to buy. You don't have the spare income. That's when you want to have dry powder. That's when it's important to sell tops, you know, and sometimes life isn't a safe space. You know, sometimes you have to tell hard truths like I was doing at the top. I was telling people the hard truth that they didn't want to hear, right? Well, now it's kind of inverse that. Now we're getting max peak FUD. Like it can't get any worse. Like I didn't even see the WBTC thing coming. It like came out of nowhere. I was still focusing on the DCG GBTC FUD. All right. I know that's a lot of acronyms, but so even though the Federal Reserve is slowing down on raising interest rates, which is pumping the S&P 500, let's take a look. The S&P 500 is absolutely ripping. Now, I didn't think that the S&P was going to be able to break the 200 exponential moving average. Remember this previous pump at my trend line here that got rejected? I thought we were going to reject here, but it's above it. Okay, now it did close down. Let's take a closer look. It did close down and found support on the 200, right? This is a doji nasty candle, but I think when the FOMC comes out and when they do like a 50 basis point rate hike, you know, I'm 50-50. I'm not sure if it's already priced in and we come down or if we pump to this trend line. Now, remember, we are waiting for the big flush to the downside to start buying. What are we going to do if that never happens, right? So the S&P 500, even though we have all this massive FUD in crypto, the S&P 500 is pulling up crypto because the market makers are following the S&P, right? And so it's trying, it's very weak, but it's trying to keep up. So if we break out of this trend line right here, I think that the markets are going to rally. I think the economy is going to crunch, right? I think that people are going to get laid off and not have money, but the economy the markets always front run the economy. And how will we know if that happened? Well, if we break through this trend line, right? So now that we're above this 200, even though this is a doji candle, this could be a fake out. This could be a fake out. You know how markets move in the path of most destruction, right? So we did get a little confirmation right here. This is literally like the weakest, ugliest confirmation you can have. I can't possibly think of a weaker confirmation than this of the 200, right? So sure, yeah, maybe it could flush down or whatever. But look, I mean, we could pump in the S&P 500 to about 4,100 to the trend line, but I believe it will reject. That's what I believe. All right. These markets have to prove it to me. I'm not going to be a moon boy every time we get a pump. That's how you get wrecked, right? So let's see, you know, another 2%, right? We could get another Bitcoin 10% that could pull up. Oof, I don't know. We do have some momentum gaining from the bullish divergence, but oof, you know. So let's say 5%, get another 5% pump. Where's that put us at? You know, above the 21 right here, above the S3 pivot, but below. Where are we at? About 17K. I mean, that's, I don't know about that. But yeah, I mean, so it's something to watch. But overall, even though I'm feeling a little bit better about the markets, I still, it has to prove it to me. I still think we're going to flush lower until the S&P 500 breaks out of that trend line. Then I think that we possibly could be bottoming. At least the traditional stock markets could be bottoming, but the crypto markets, they have a lot of overlying FUD, which we're going to talk about it. Now, even though the Fed is going to slow raising rates, they're still raising rates. Money is still going to be expensive, and we're still going to have liquidity crisis. On top of that, they're also deleveraging. Now, they're selling about like $95 billion a month. That's 33% of the GDP. Okay, so they're unloading their balance sheet. You can see how it mooned during the COVID-19 crisis, right? So they're still going to be unloading their balance sheet. Money's still going to be expensive. They're still going to be raising rates, right? So we're not out of the woods, but things are starting to look better. And when things start to look better, the market's front run it actually happening and being better, right? And it's a bumpy road. It's hard to guess and see what is going to happen, right? So this is starting to look better. I'm starting to feel a lot better about the market. I do think we're going to flush lower. We'll talk more about it here in a bit, but we do have a plan if it doesn't, right? And of course, you know, it could be a fake out and we might be wrong, but we're talking about, we're talking in the terms of probabilities, right? So the probabilities get a lot higher. Okay, so like, let's say if you hit a 19 in blackjack and you stay, and then, yeah, sure, I mean, the dealer could get 21, but it's not that likely. So that's kind of how we're looking at it. So when the probabilities are with us, we'll say, okay, we're wrong. We're going to start buying now, you know, and maybe miss out on 7-8%. But the probabilities are against us currently. So just hold off. Just sit back and watch. And I think that sometime in like Q1, Q2, 2023, the markets are going to start turning around, but the economy is going to be in a recession. I know it seems counterintuitive, but that's kind of how the markets work. So let's jump into the chat. Adam Erickson, shout out to you, man. What's up? What's up? Yeah, dude, exactly, bro. The Federal Reserve is definitely BitConnect at this point, just rugging everything, right? Let's see, Hans, what's up, man? Don't copy a random RPC off Twitter, please. You'll get wrecked. Okay, well, do your own research. Do your own research. PCE numbers next week, yes. South Beach Crypto, what is the MetaMask RPC code? Can you provide? Yeah, I will. We'll talk about it more in the chat and do like some further research. There is a couple of them. This one that I looked at looks okay, but yeah, I mean, this dude freaked me out. He said, don't copy an RPC. Yeah, I mean, like, let's double check before we do it. But otherwise, you can use MetaMask if you trust them. I'm really not into the whole, like, trust me, bro, audits that have been going on lately. It's definitely crazy. What's up, Brian? Born yesterday. They didn't just ignore you. It was hate. I remember the comment section. Hate, hate, hate. Yeah, they did roast me in the comment section just a little bit, but, you know, whatever, man. I'm not worried about it. You know, like, I have a pretty thick skin, you know. I came from, like, look, let's talk about this real quick. So let's talk about, like, Elon Musk tweeted the other day that Twitter added 1.6 daily active users this past week, another all-time high. And then Mr. Beast, the biggest YouTuber in the world, right? Hundreds of millions of views per video, insane. Says, I wonder what YouTube's daily activity is. And Elon responded, let's see what happens when Twitter offers good video and higher compensation for creators. All right. So thank God, I got demonetized on YouTube because I was using too many memes. They called it reused content. They were always throttling me and demonetizing my videos. You know, if I said like anything about basically like the current political climate or anything like that, they definitely are running a certain narrative, you know, and that's the way the world has become, right? Like, we grew up on South Park, we grew up on Family Guy, right? All of it was politically incorrect. Dave Chappelle. I don't know when people got so soft. Like, I don't care if people troll me in the comments or anything like that. You know, hopefully it's funny, right? But this is super, super bullish news for the world in general. Like, everything's become so PC. Now, I'm not worried about people trolling me or whatever in the comments. You know what I mean? But so I'm very, very bullish on this. And I will dance on YouTube's grave, right? If this could actually be a big thing. So, and they are actually, Google and YouTube, same thing. They're actually doing huge layoffs. So, hey, they're going to McDonald's, right? So we have big major layoffs in all tech firms. I think it's going to keep spreading and keep getting worse. I think we're going to have some sort of like mild maybe recession in 2023. But like I said, I think the markets are going to front run that. So what do we got going on? What's up, chat? What's up? Be mindful of love. Welcome back. Welcome back. Hope you brought your like button today. If not, there's one right below. Hi, Brian. What's up, bro? Market is 4 month forward looking. Yeah, I would say it is. I would say it's 4 months about forward looking right there. And I just think that you have to find a place where you feel good at buying. Like when I sold 65, that was crazy, man. And like I have video of it because I did it on my channel. But when I sold that, you know, I wasn't really sure. And even the way I even worded it was like, hey, I don't know what's going to happen. We might run to the 100K. I don't know, but this is good enough for me. I'm out. So I sold my trading position, right? Still have my HODL position. I'll never, ever sell my HODL position, you know, unless it gets like, if we actually did hit 100K, then I would like probably get completely out. A HODL position is important. So if you're holding still, you know, it's important for your mental health to be like, oh, well, I have some just in case this market runs away from me, because it does that. You know, so like, yeah, I went off the cliff with my HODL position, but my actual trading position was all liquidated at the time. So inverse that. You have to be like, you know what? I'm good with buying here. You know, it might go lower and that's fine, but I'm good with this price. You know, like 80%, 90% off. Yo, I'm good here. I'm just going to buy here and chill. Whatever happens, happens. And you have to follow through. You know, it depends on your time horizon. The lower it goes, the shorter the time horizon, right? So if you bought Hex 30 cents, now you got to wait a couple years or a year. You know, we don't know what's going to happen with the whole SEC thing, you know, or if it's going to be labeled as security, you know, like it's going to absolutely moon like crazy if they decide not to pursue the case, you know, or they deem that it's decentralized enough. You know, that's a possibility that could happen, and that'll pump us to 30 cents instantly. You know what I mean? But because the whole world's going to be watching and looking at that. So you have to find out for yourself and make sure, you know, you look at it realistically and be like, yo, I might have to wait a couple years, but I'm good here, you know, and it might go lower, just like it went to 69K for me. It might go lower, but then you're just like, yo, I'm just going to chill. So that's kind of what I'm going to do in the next flush. I really think that there's a lot of FUD going around. There's like a lot of shit, and I want to see it resolved before I buy, because I'm not trying to be down 50% next week. That's hard to hold, you know? I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to buy after that happens, you know? So let's take a look at, oh yeah, and on this topic, so like basically Google and Apple are saying that they might remove Twitter from their phone platform. So now Elon Musk is trying to build an alternative phone if Apple and Google boot their Twitter from App Stores, right? So now, you know, like Elon Musk is basically a genius. Like he has SpaceX, right? And they launch people's satellites into space. Well, he piggybacked on each launch, right? He piggybacked his own satellite and he launched it up. And now there's hundreds of Starlink satellites all over the world, and they're going to offer global internet, which is awesome because I travel a lot. You know, like I'm not trying to like buy a SIM card everywhere I go. So I'll be the first one to adopt the Tesla phone if it actually happens. And this is a big win. So yeah, if they can have like take down YouTube, you know, take down Apple, hey, this is good news for freedom in general. And really at the end of the day, that's why we're here in crypto, is it not? So yeah, very, very bullish. But let's jump into some of the FUD. Wolfpack will dominate Twitter videos. Thank you, Elon. Hell yeah, man. I hope so, dude. I cannot wait. If we really could get new YouTube without censorship and people actually using it, it would be dope. Yeah, and I think it will, because YouTube, I mean, Twitter is like one of the biggest platforms out there, especially for crypto. Like it's basically crypto, Twitter, and like politics and stuff like that. I really enjoy Twitter. It's like an intelligence competition, you know, like the smartest people rise to the top. Unlike Instagram, it's just a flex competition, or like basically it's like softcore OnlyFans or something like that, you know, like Instagram is kind of lame. But Twitter, like the smartest people rise to the top, and the people who are interested in crypto and watching crypto videos are there. So if anybody can take on YouTube, it's not Rumble, it's not Donald Trump's platform. Like Twitter already has mass adoption. It's one of the biggest social media platforms out there. And it's definitely the demographic that's into crypto. So like, yeah, Twitter, dude, please, Elon, save me from YouTube hell. I stubbed my toe. Hey, man, shout out to you. Thank you for the love. Appreciate that. Marcel, hey, man, shout out to you. Thank you for the thumbnail. Mr. Crypto J, bumming into cold colleagues is cold. Oh yeah. Bumping into old colleagues is depressing. Nobody can pay the rent, let alone buy the dip. Yeah, and that is an amazing indicator. That's why I have never pulled out. Okay, so after I bought my R8 and I pulled out like, I don't know, 20, 30K just for fun money, and I left all of my other USDCs, and I haven't pulled on it at all. I'm just leaving it there. I haven't bought or anything like that, so I'm just leaving it there. You have to have the dry powder. You have to be able to buy when you're there. That's half the battle. Otherwise, if that wasn't the case, then people would have already bought. You know, that's how it works. You know, so like I'm glad that I'm in a position to capitalize and dominate on the next bull market. And I think Doge like Cult and Hex, Ethereum, things like that. I already have a BTC hodl position, so I'm not going to buy BTC. But yeah. The other thing that I've kind of been thinking about lately, and I've regretted, is that I haven't been following PulseChain development that good. I know there's a lot of Twitter spaces and a lot of smart people that are following or that are trying to build on there. And I think this next week, I'm going to try to get caught up on those spaces and try to see what's really going on. Because when this market turns around, we're going to start looking for opportunities, right? So looking at future PulseChain products and knowing exactly who's who and what's going on is going to be important for this next bull market. So I think I've been slacking on that only because I'm worried about the SEC thing. You know, like what's going to happen, you know, is Hex going to be deemed a security and what's going to happen after that, right? So there's a lot of people that got letters, Discourse Syndicate, you know, Hexo, all the big influencers, Johnny Chaos, all these guys are like subpoenaed by the SEC. Now, I do know that they have some high-end lawyer and law firm that is going to be representing everybody. So that's very, very bullish. And recently, they filed a disclosure with the SEC stating that Hex is not a security. Now, that could mean a couple things. That could just be some disclosure that they file. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know. This is not legal advice. Or that could mean that they're not sending their wallet addresses, that they're not complying exactly. Like they are complying by sending out a disclosure claiming that the SEC does not have any jurisdiction with asking them for all their information for Hex, right? Because remember, all the influencers can say whatever they want if it's not a security as far as the SEC is concerned, right? So maybe they're saying, now this is just hypothetical because I don't know, but my gut feeling is telling me that the SEC is saying that, or that the Hexkins are saying, prove that it's a security first, and then we'll give the data. Now, I'm not sure. They could be sending the data. I don't know. But that's kind of like my knee-jerk reaction is what I would do is be like, okay, well, we're complying, but we're sending you a disclosure. We're sending you a legal statement saying we don't believe that Hex is a security, so we don't need to send you anything. Now, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know, but that's kind of the gut feeling that I have. I think that's kind of how the law works, you know? Because, hey, prove that Hex is a security first. You have no jurisdiction. You have no right to look into my addresses, you know? So I don't know if that's what's going on or not, and how long this battle is going to draw out with Hex. So it's like, I've been kind of putting the PLS development on a back burner. And I think that's a mistake. I think that for the next bull market, we have to stay the course and not get too fudded out, you know. And even me, I have some pretty strong hands, and I've been through bear markets, and like I've gotten rugged and all this stuff, you know. Like I got a pretty thick skin when it comes to this shit. And even me, I've been like, shit, I'm not trying to look at PulseChain like it doesn't exist. And we don't know what's happening with the Hex ecosystem. And I'm like, I'm not really going to put the mental energy into figuring out who's building what, right? That's a mistake, right? Because what what new coin is going to dominate the next bull market? You know, last one we had Solana, which happened to be a complete sham, right? And we kind of knew it. I mean, I hated it and I didn't really get any of it because it was against the principles of crypto, but it pumped, you know, because they were fraudulently pumping everything or whatever. With that being said, but I slept on Solana and I missed those gains. I slept on Cardano and I missed those gains, right? So am I going to do the same thing with PLS and miss those gains? Like, if Hex is a security, like what's going to happen with PLS? Look, I don't know. But sleeping on the development on PLS is going to be a giant mistake. Because then you're going to be playing catch up. You're not going to know who's who. You're not going to know what's what. And there is a possibility, you know, and I don't know, is it probable? That's hard to say, but there is a possibility that PLS is going to be the Solana of the next bull run, right? Because it's new. I mean, you already have BitBoy who sacrificed. That's the biggest crypto YouTuber there is. You know, you have Ivan on Tech talking about it. All the big time guys are talking about it. They're going to be shelling it. They got bags of it, right? So like PLS could be the next Solana. PLS could be the next Cardano. And sleeping on that, like you can have the inside scoop. Like by the time that the herd comes, by the time that the economy turns around, everybody's working, interest rates get cut because the Fed has to pivot, money is cheap again, markets start pumping, everybody starts leveraging and doing the same shit. You know, leveraging debt, repackaging it, leveraging debt, you know, and pumping markets. You know, that's what we've been doing. That's the market cycle, right? Right now we're contracting, but once we start mooning again, do you want to be sitting there with your pants down? You know, like, oh shit, so what's up with PLSX again? No, I mean, or PLS again. You know, you want to see what's going on. Maybe the main development's going to be there. You know, maybe Hex is the real iteration. Like Hex is true DeFi. You know, so those people that build true DeFi projects appear to be heading towards PLS. You know, ETH is congested, ETH is censored. You know, like we got the SEC maybe gonna take down ETH. You know, like that's the big rumor going around that the SEC has jurisdiction over Ethereum because most of the validators are in the United States, which of course can be easily fixed. Validators could just flee to other places of the world that's more free. But I'm just saying, you know, like ETH is clogged, ETH is expensive, ETH is corporate, it's very JP Morgan now. Vitalik's out here dumping, right? He just moved 40,000 Ethereum. You know, he's always dumping. So it's like, so where's the energy gonna go? Where's the crypto energy and development going to go? It could be PLSX. I'm not saying it's gonna be, I don't know. But if you're sleeping on it, I think you're gonna be behind the curve. And with crypto, it's moving so fast and like evolving so quickly that if you sleep on it just a little bit, you're gonna be left behind, like by a long shot. So understanding the good projects, understanding the good developers, and before the chain even launches is going to be big. It's going to be, it could be what makes you your millions, you know, basically. I'm not trying to like be a moon boy here or anything, but that's the fact. That's how crypto has worked all of this time. You know, like FTM, you know, I think Phantom's going to be big. You know, Andre Kranya, yes. You know, think what you want about him, but he's hype man. You know, he's the hype guy. He says he's building metaverse projects. He's building projects on Phantom. So that's going to be a big one that we follow. We're going to be following Phantom projects. Phantom, full disclosure, is part of my HODL position. I've staked it all for Spooky on Spooky Swap. And it's been a year that I've staked that. I'm ride or die, bro. Like when I adopt something, I adopt it. You know what I mean? So Phantom, I'm bullish on. I'm not bullish on Cardano. I mean, their stablecoin just failed. I'm not bullish on it. I'm sorry. If you're a Cardano holder, I think Cardano's going to do well. But as far as development goes, no. They got their own code. It's not interoperable with other systems. They're trying to build their own ecosystem. Fine. But no, just basically the Ethereum-based projects, you know, that engine is what's going to prevail. So I'm not too interested in that. So Solana's dead. So what do we got? We got Phantom. ETH is too clogged. You know, there's going to be some legacy projects on there. Fine. Ethereum's worth holding and everything like that. But I'm just saying, PLS might be where it's at. So anyways, I'll be off my soapbox now on that. Let's catch up on the chat. What's up, guys? What's up? Counter offer. Where are we at? Sorry. Okay, weird that the investment fund is registered security and the SEC is going after influencers. Well, it's not weird, Hans. It's not weird because when their investment fund launched, it is for accredited investors only. So it's being treated as a security out of the gate, right? So like, and they have approval on that, and they have a preliminary look, but just because the fund was approved by the SEC doesn't mean, it says right in the paperwork, it doesn't mean that they approve Hex or approve that. They're saying that they approve it as a security. Only accredited investors can invest in that fund. So it's not weird at all. It's not weird at all. That doesn't mean that Hex is not a security. So it basically, like, if Hex was a security, then only accredited investors would be able to participate, which is people with like portfolios that are like $1 million, right? So only the super rich can participate in that. So it's already being treated, that fund is being treated as a security. It's not weird. It's not weird. And the reason why they're going after the influencers is because they want to see, they want to fulfill the Howey test, and that's kind of one of them. So it's not that crazy. I don't think that the fund has a whole lot of merit of weight on either end of the equation. You know, the one thing I will say is I think that the SEC has the work cut out for them. I think that it looks like when you look at Richard Hart and how he dresses and how he does in his actions, you think it's a slam dunk Ponzi scheme, you know. But if you look at the actual mechanics of Hex, it's very technical. They're going to have to hire experts. It's not going to be an easy layup. So we'll see what happens with that. They might be able to make it, deem it a security. They might be able to, but it's not going to be an easy, quick fight, in my opinion. That's what I think. Be mindful of love. You're right. Thank you. I don't know which part you're talking about, but thank you very much. Adam Erickson, SEC would like a taste of the PLS sack. Maybe they sacked. You never know. But yeah, the PLS sack is sketch. It's trying to like be. It's trying to like semantics its way out of ICO fundraise. So we'll have to see what they think about that. PLS doesn't exist. So, I mean, it's hard to label something a security if it doesn't exist. Maybe they're waiting for this Hex thing to blow over before they launch it. Think about it. I mean, if you like, it's a catch-22. If you launch PLS, it could be deemed a security. It could have an immediate investigation by the SEC. If you don't, then it could look like fraud in a way. So, like, either way, it's a shaky thing. I'm not gonna lie, it's a shaky thing. But I think not following it is going to be a bigger mistake than just like spending some energy keeping up on what's going on as far as development, because there's a lot of people that are developing on it. Yeah. Marcel R, can we start beef with crypto par Butch? Who the hell is that? Yeah, we can. Let's start beef. Hop in his comments. Operation Mayhem. Frederick Andre, shout out to you, brother. Doge should be quite a performant in the next bull run. Yes. Not only is it not really a security, I mean, it hasn't been deemed not a security, but I mean, it's just a fork of BTC. My only issue with Doge is it has like an infinite supply. So whatever, you know what I mean? That's not that good. Now they do have their own chain, so that makes it shady with the Security and Exchange Commission, and it has had outages and problems. I know they're trying to be more than just like a Bitcoin meme fork. But the thing is we have Elon Musk starting a YouTube platform. We have him starting a telephone, and he loves Doge, right? Everybody in the world knows about Doge, and it's easy to buy, and it's a low risk on the SEC thing. So that's a big win. And I think once the markets start pumping, people aren't going to be like, you know, like your buddy who's a sports bettor or whatever, your buddies who like love football, you know, what are they going to know? Are they going to know what's going on PLS? They're going to be like, oh, Doge, click that, you know? Oh, Bitcoin looks expensive, but Doge looks cheap, you know, because they don't understand market caps, and be like, oh, buy Doge, you know, it's going to be the next Bitcoin, whatever. You got Elon Musk pumping it. Elon Musk is mooning, dude. Like he's taken over, right? So, and that's his baby. That's his pet. So yeah, it would be a mistake. I mean, Doge is definitely up there. I'm very, very interested in scooping up. We can take a look at that here in a little bit too, on where to buy. Basically, I'm like gauging everything off of Bitcoin, right? And Bitcoin's gauging everything technically off the S&P 500 once the FUD ends, you know? Once this thing gets resolved, once the DCG, WBTC, this bullshit gets resolved, then I think that I'll start thinking that this could be close to the bottom. But I just want to see what happens with this. I'm not in a hurry to jump in and get hit by a truck, you know what I mean? I'm not in a hurry to run out in the street and start buying right now. I just want to see what happens. If that means I can miss the absolute bottom and then I like lose 8% on the next bull run, I'm good. I'm good. So let's talk a little bit about the GBTC, DCG, Genesis FUD, okay? So basically, GBTC was part of the big run up here. If we take a look at this chart, you can see the premium here. They were buying like crazy, right? They have like 644,000 Bitcoin. It's like $10 billion, right? These guys were buying absolutely crazy. And that happens to be part of the reason why we had the bull market, because they were buying literally everything. They're actually buying twice as much as what the miners could produce, right? So there was no miner sell pressure at all, right? So now, and so is everybody else. Three Arrows Capital had a lot, right? I think 3AC had approximately like 30,000 GBTC, and about and also who else had some? And BlockFi, yes, and they were both dumping. When they both went bankrupt, they started to dump. And DCG was just basically like the parent company of Genesis and GBTC. They were buying it all up, right? So now GBTC bought up like 90% of the 3AC shares, trying to prop up the price, and buying up like all of the BlockFi shares, trying to prop up the price and keep that discount low, right? Because look, Genesis, what Genesis does is it swaps. It's basically the engine that swaps USD to GBTC, right? So if they go bust, that's big problems, right? And now we have like a 50%, like 42%, right? Discount on GBTC. So basically it's like half of the spot price. It's a big freaking problem. And a lot of people are saying that this is the problem is because DCG is selling their GBTC to try to fill that $2 billion hole in their balance sheet, because they were making loans back and forth, high leverage buying GBTC, and also like investing degen products with 3AC, and all this shit collapsed. And now they need like basically $1 billion to get bailed out and to like make their books whole. Like they basically stop withdrawals and all this stuff. So Genesis is very important for the inner plumbing of the cryptocurrency space. If this shit goes under and they have to dissolve GBTC or have to sell it, it's going to be a big fucking problem. I mean, they have 500,000 Bitcoin, right? So if they have to start, if they like dissolve the fund and then they have to sell a bunch of Bitcoin to like cover their expenses, they're going to dump the market hard, extremely hard. So this is like a FUD scenario. Like, I'm not saying that this is going to happen, you know, but this is one of the things that you got to watch out for. This is one of the overlying pressures of Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency market, because right now there's no liquidity, right? All of this was happening when we had like 0% interest rates. Loans were easy. You can get a loan just by having a JPEG of a monkey and like take millions of loans against it. Like these were insane times. Right now we're in reverse that. So we're definitely trying to see, and we're definitely trying to look and see where this resolves and what's going to happen with Genesis on Monday. Like they haven't been able to raise any money, period. Nobody's buying. Nobody has money. No one has access to liquidity. It's a big liquidity crunch right now. And that's what happens. Companies go bust. This is a big one. This is like the foundation of cryptocurrency. This is, remember, the herd was coming. Like the institutions came and they bought the top. Thank you. Right? They bought the top on leverage. That's what happened. And that's what made us our money in this last bull market. So we have to wait and see. You know, these are the guys that on-ramped. So we definitely don't want to lose Genesis. We definitely don't want to lose GBTC. So I'm hoping that there could be some kind of, I'm hoping they can get this thing resolved, borrow some money or whatever. Or, just keep collecting premium until they get approved to an ETF. But when you're trading 50% below the spot price, no wonder the SEC is not interested in making it an ETF. That's a lot of Bitcoin. That's a lot of Bitcoin. So it's a big sell pressure. It's a big FUD campaign, and I want to see this resolve before I start buying. Okay, and if this is what dumps us lower, fine, do it. But the worst thing that could happen is if they like draw this out, you know, I don't know, and draw a long pattern that just breaks, and then it's just more pain and sideways, you know. So part of me wants this thing just to hurry up and collapse, but part of me, you know, hopes that this thing can be resolved. Anyways, let's keep going on. Let's jump in here. What do we got going on in the chat? ZK will dominate the next bull run. All right. ZK, what do you think will happen with Hex if the SEC lawsuit last year's kind of like XRP? Oof. I think that it's going to be in like some sort of a purgatory. You know what I mean? I think that with this like black cloud over Hex, I think it's going to be hard to like get people to buy. And as you know, Hex has high yielding staking platform. So there's going to be a lot of yield going on. There's going to be a lot of overhead sell pressure and not a lot of new buyers. So I think it's going to grind down real slow. And I think Hex influencers do a good job of like keeping the dream alive, you know. I don't know about what Richard's doing, you know, or if that's helping or not, but it's definitely gonna drag it down a little bit. Now we do have a bot inside our chat that is watching the SEC website, and if we'll be the first ones to know if there's an official thing filed against Hex. I think that'll be the next big leg down. You know, I think we're gonna grind down slowly. Let's take a look at Hex real quick, actually. Let's take a look at Hex. Let's see. All right, so we got ourselves a little bit of a bounce. We're on the daily chart. We don't really have a whole lot of support here. Let's see, where do we get a bounce? At about 2.6 cents. And man, it really wasn't really strong enough. Didn't have enough interest to get us to the S2 pivot, which is at about, you know, 3 cents. And then the 21 exponential moving average is about 3 cents. Now, we have to come up here and touch this. We have to come up here and touch this line for us to like be considered to stop the free fall, because this is free fall right here. We weren't even like strong enough to bounce back to the S2 pivot and like have reverse support, basically. You know what I mean? Just show me there's some life. Just show me you have a pulse. You know, and we really didn't see that, and it's almost completely retraced. Now, a dead cat bounce is technically when we take out this low. So that's not a dead cat bounce until we get below, you know, 2.6 cents, 2.62. It's important when we're this low to like read into it a little bit to the thousandth, right? So like until we break down this isn't a dead cat bounce, but man, it sure looks like it. And there really isn't a whole lot of volume going on, not a whole lot of interest, and there's a lot of panic sellers. You know, I really think that the LPs are soaking up a lot of this cheap Hex. You know, I mean, I think they're soaking it up and like holding up the price, basically. I just don't see, honestly, I don't see us popping up from here. I see us continuing to roll over. And look, I'm still holding like my stakes and my liquid. I'm still holding, you know, like I've already taken my profits. You know, I sold at 45 cents, 39 cents. I'm not really interested in dumping at these lows. I think a lot of people aren't. Just the people who are panic selling. And I think we're going to just hang around and chop around all the way down here, test the bottom of this candle, which happens to be the S3 pivot at about 2 cents. I think we're going to chop down to about 2 cents. I think it's going to be a slow, methodical grind until there is some sort of official charges levied against Hex, like unless the SEC files like an official complaint. So, which is really, really interesting. You know, if they're going to do it, it might happen soon. And here's why. Because they did file the disclosure of like, we do not believe, this is what I heard yesterday. This is what they filed. The big shot lawyer, I don't know who it is, but they filed a disclosure saying that we do not believe Hex is a security, right? So until, and now then the ball's in the SEC's court. You know, they did launch an official investigation because to be able to launch a subpoena, there has to be an official investigation, right? But could they launch a official complaint? Now, if they launch an official complaint, I think that'll be like, okay, we don't think Hex is a security, we're not complying, but we are because we're sending you this disclosure from a lawyer. So we're complying, but we're not actually. And then the SEC comes back and says, okay, well, now there's an official complaint filed, so now you have to. I think that's how it works. Look, I'm not a lawyer, take it with a grain of salt, but I think that's kind of how the law is working here. So I wouldn't be surprised, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if they file like an official complaint against it, and then they would be forced to comply with all of their addresses and stuff like that. And then it'll become a long drawn out process. And then we're going to be dumping. I mean, if that happens, we're going to a penny. Like, let's be real, or sub a penny. You know what I mean? If there's an official complaint. Now, this is surprisingly good. This price action is surprisingly very good considering the FUD, right? I don't think any other crypto has held up this well, but this, let's face it, guys, this looks bad, you know, and there's not much interest in a lot of APY, right? So, yeah, it's probably going to roll over lower. Now, the best case scenario would them to be like, well, we're not going to pursue the case. Then, dude, then it's off to the races, and then everybody in the whole crypto space knows, you know, and that's like the reverse rug scenario, and it could happen. It could happen. I don't know if that's the probable thing. I think it's more probable that we have a long drawn out lawsuit on this. So what's up, guys? What's going on? What's going on in the chat? The SEC lawsuit. Okay, hold up. There's no evidence of any lawsuit yet. Yes, there is no evidence of any lawsuit yet. It's just an official investigation, right? And we will know. We'll know right away. Mintra looks like an absolute steal, easy 100x for sure. Yeah, I mean, Mintra is the. I'm not big on it, you know, but like it's one of those things. We'll see. Is that like a Gunther thing? Be mindful of love and no lawsuit without proving Hex is first a security. Well, the lawsuit will be against Hex to prove that it's a security. What they're doing with the influencers is just trying to get enough data to file a lawsuit. The fact that like an official complaint hasn't been launched yet is super bullish. You know, if they launched an official complaint, this is an official investigation. Remember, because they need one for subpoenas. But it hasn't. They have not filed a complaint on their website. I'd know about it instantly. Instantly, I would know about it. Okay, so and that has not happened yet, which is kind of bullish. You know, and that's kind of bullish. Like, dude, where's it at? Where's the complaint at? Yeah, and they have no jurisdiction over the influencers until they do. SEC lawsuit could bring attention to Hex and pump the price. Paradoxically, hey, dude, life takes the most ironic route sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I mean, especially if it could be like some sort of a show trial. You know, like it could be. Everyone would definitely know about it. That's for sure. If you didn't know about it yet, you definitely would. So yeah, I mean, it could happen. If PLS gets listed on a big exchange, the Hex documentary is going to print money for us. Yeah, I mean, that's of course the perfect storm, right? As if we actually we get the documentary, we get PulseChain, and then we get it like, let's say, an exoneration of like, oh, we weren't sued after all. They have bigger fish to fry. They got FTX to worry about. You know, they got you know, XRP case that they can't even win. You know what I mean? So like, you know, maybe they're like, this is too complicated. Well, come back to it or whatever. That would be super bullish for Hex as well. So let's take a look at some other stuff. What else do we got on the roster here? The DCG thing. Oh yeah, Joker's sister. Well, yeah, there she is. Get out now. All right, WBTC FUD. Okay, so I know this isn't that interesting, so we're not going to jump into this whole thread. I know a lot of people here are like DeFi guys, so WBTC, you basically wrap your BTC. You're able to use it on Ethereum. Now, half of the WBTC that has been created was through FTX Alameda, so they were able to print it, and people are freaked out. They're dumping all their WBTC on exchanges, on DEXs, and taking massive losses, taking massive haircuts on it because of pure fear and panic, right? Well, this one is actually kind of FUD because for FTX is not printing. Let's take a look. FTX is not printing their own WBTCs, right? So they actually have to go through BitGo, a custodian, right? You go to the merchant, this is you go over here to FTX, you buy some from Sam, he goes and gets he goes and wraps it for you and then gives it to you, right? So all of it's backed at BitGo, and BitGo is a really like trusted company, right? They're a public company, and they have all their licenses. They have all of the WBTC. Now, people with WBTC are just panicking because they don't know if they're going to be able to redeem it later, and it's the panic that is selling this down. I don't think that BitGo is going to implode. I don't think that WBTC is going to implode. It is depegging from BTC, and it looks bad, and it's driving FUD, and it's freaking people out, and people are taking losses. But I really don't think that that WBTC or BitGo is in any jeopardy at all. After doing a shit ton of research, and I really don't want to waste a bunch of time like jumping into this and stuff like that. Trust me, bro. Okay, just trust me. All right, where are we at in the chat? So I don't know. I don't think the GBTC thing is a big, I don't think the WBTC thing is a big deal. Not as much as Genesis. Genesis I'm worried about, but the WBTC is mainly FUD in my opinion. Now the WBTC that's still stuck on FTX is going to get liquidated, and they're going to give that money to the secured creditors. Remember, if you have money, if you have WBTC sitting on FTX, good luck. You're an unsecured creditor. They don't care about you. They just they pay back the big dogs. You know what I mean? So yeah, in that sense, yes, it's going to be dumped. But I mean, it can't be as bad as the front run that's already happening right now, in my opinion. You know, this is just my opinion, not financial advice. Last, the PLS. Oh yeah, okay. Which do you place a higher value, PLS or PLSX? Which do you think will outperform in the short term and long term after launch? Well, I think PLS will right away, because remember Richard said that it's going to be in its own ecosystem pre-bridge. So like people are going to be able to trade PLSX and PLS, and then whatever coins get launched or whatever coins find liquidity or whatever, right? Well, that's pre-bridge. So I think that a lot of people missed PLS, and I think a lot of people bought PLSX to dump for PulseChain. So I think that's what's going to happen. I think there's going to be a giant exodus, because if you did sacrifice a lot like me in PulseChain, I sacked a lot. So my plan is to wait for people to dump PLSX all the way down, right? I'm basically calling my PLSX just a loss because I think it's going to be a giant dump into PulseChain. I think that's what's going to happen, right? Now, PLSX has the pumpamentals. So like when that giant exodus happens, because I was first and early, I sacked right away, and I'm going to be buying the PLSX dip. So that's my plan. I'm going to wait until like max pain, like where it's like basically nothing, that I'm going to buy. So that's how you win in crypto. There's two ways to win in crypto. It's a zero-sum game, right? For a wolf to eat, you have to kill. So if you either got to be smarter than everybody else, or you got to be first. And being first, you have to if you are first, take advantage of it. Now, I was one of the people that went hard into PLS. There's a lot of late bloomers that came back, got PLSX to dump for PulseChain because they missed it. I'm going to take advantage of those people. And that's the game. That's how it works. We all can't make money, right? So I'm going to be buying the PLSX dip. So whatever I got into there, I think PLSX is going to just, in terms of traded against PulseChain, I think it's going to be like nothing. I think there's going to be a giant exodus. I think the people that missed PulseChain are going to do it, and then that's going to cause FUD, and then people are going to panic, and they're going to exit into PulseChain, and then at the peak panic, when everyone's like, oh shit, and running and jumping off PLSX, that's when I'm going to buy the dip. So now I'm going to buy then I'll have giant stacks in both. I'll have my PulseChain, and then I'll just get all the panic sellers as PLSX. That's my plan. That's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to use a very small amount, because you should only have to use a small amount if it's a giant ratio, which I believe is going to happen. And we know it. We know that PLSX had way bigger of a sacrifice, and it's way less utility. And then I'm going to hodl. And then I'm going to let the buyback and burns happen. I'm going to let all of the TX, all the transactions go through and just forget about it. And that's what I did. And that's how I made a shit ton of money on Hex and every other project. Like trading is good. Trading, you can make money, but just hodling and waiting, that's the key. I'm just going to forget I have it and just let it run and just let it accumulate, just like I'm accumulating everything that I'm staking right now. And I don't even look at it. I don't even care, you know. And then once it matures, you know, like, just think of it as like planting a seed. You know, you plant a seed, you have to wait for fruit, you know. And that's why I was like, when we were running, when the bull market started, right, and we hit 10K, and then my friends were selling 14K, and then my friends were selling 20K. They're like, that's the top, it's gonna double a top, and blah blah blah. And I didn't. Why? Because my investment really hasn't matured, and I wanted to wait until I got the fruit of it. You know what I mean? Because like, also like, I want to wait until I can get the things I want. You know, like at the time I wanted a Tesla Performance, and I was like, well, I can't buy one, so no point in selling. You know, like, you have to have like little milestones in your mind, and that's what saved me from dumping and buying back in, because they bought back in at 23K. My friends did, you know, and they're hardcore, like, been around longer than me, smarter than me, whatever. Like, triple OGs, you know. I'm just a double OG. I'm only from 2017, so these guys are before me, the guys that I look up to. And I was like, hell no, I'm not fucking selling. So you have to let it mature. You have to let your investment mature. You can't be too quick in and out. You know, you'll wreck yourself. Jumping in and out is like taking sand and pouring it between your both hands until you have nothing, until it all slips through your fingers. So just wait, chill, use crypto as entertainment. You know, movies have gone to shit. You know, I always say this, and cryptos are entertainment. You know, that's what spawned this channel, because I was bored. So like, just remember, you know, just follow along. But just hodl, hold, stake, wait. You know what I mean? And you will succeed. It's not even about like staying in. You have to stay informed to an extent, but that's not what's going to save you. Time in the market saves you. Time in the market is better than timing the market. You know, just staying here, waiting for the bull run. That's it. That's all you have to do. Then everything pumps. So then you're Warren Buffett. Then you're, you know, like, no matter where you put your money, you're going to make money. When you're in a bull market, it's like, damn, I would have made more if I put it in that. But you're still up. You're like 2-3x up. You're like, damn, I would have had 10x if I would have just bought this one. I'd have been 100x if I bought this one. So it's just a matter of how much you win and winning the most. There you go. In a bull market, being informed will win you more than not being informed, because any idiot can make money in the bull market. I like that. That's how it is. So you just have to wait for it to happen and be here, and, you know, be around, be chilling at the bottoms with dry powder to get in. You know, that's the main thing. I think most people capitulate. Most people get wiped out leverage trading. Most people get rugged, and then there's a small fraction of cryptocurrency guys who manage to sell somewhere up top or have liquid cash and still have enough interest. This is a very small subset of the cryptocurrency space. I mean, it's tiny. And those are the people that get rich in the next bull. And the people that like tuned out and went about their business and didn't care, and they come in and buy your top and they get wrecked. And that's why I'm saying it's a zero-sum game. We can't all win, you know? We can't all win. So you have to either be smarter, or you have to be first, or you have to grind. You know, like, you have to just grind through to the next bull market, and hopefully you win. Hopefully you pick the fastest horse. You know, that's kind of the way I was looking at it. So, oh shit, sorry about that, docs. So anyways, that's what we're looking at with GBTC and whatever. So let's take a look at what we got going on here. Oh, Tech Dude, man, shout out to you, bro. I'm glad you're here. So yeah, hey, be mindful of love. There you go. I'm glad I could answer that for you. Hans, can we be Moon Boy at the bottom because Moon Boy at the top is stupid? Yeah, you know, you don't want to be, you don't want to have bear euphoria either. You know what I'm saying? Like, bear euphoria is the inverse Moon Boy. If you're like, yeah, it's going to keep going down to 9K, to 8K, and it might, you know what I mean? But if you're counting on that, you're going to get left behind if you have the bear euphoria, just the same as if you have bull euphoria. You just got to, you got to be able to think, like, that's why I can't tell you when to buy, because I don't know what your portfolio is or what your time horizons are. You have to be like, yo, this is good enough for me. I'm jumping in, good or worse. I'm ready for it to go down another 50%. Because I think that's what we're looking at. You know, I think we're looking at another 50% down, you know, at the worst. So if you're okay with 50% down, You know, if you're okay with losing 50% of your money, like this would be a decent time to get in. But I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for a little bit more. I want this FUD to resolve, right? Either to the downside or just kind of go away. But it just seems like every other day, like this WBTC thing, I didn't even see that coming. It just came out of nowhere. I was like reading up on how Genesis, DCG, GBTC. I was reading every thread I could to figure out exactly how it's structured and why it's bad and what is actually going on, who lent money to who owes money to who, you know what I mean? And like, what are the possible outcomes? So I'm like reading all this shit, you know, and wasting all this time. And then the WBTC thing comes out of nowhere. And I think more surprises are coming, right? So there's no good news yet. So I'm waiting for this thing to you know, turn around just a little bit. Okay, and now we have STEs, which we're going to talk about that next after I get through some of the chat. All right. Thanks for your daily videos recently. Okay. Hey Hans, thanks for your daily videos recently. I've been enjoying them. Hey Hans, do you have videos? Do you have videos? Why don't we do a stream together? Let's do it. Shouldn't SEC be distracted with FTX and attention to Hex? Yeah, that's what I kind of was thinking. But it turns out that, you know, Sam Bankman-Fried is going to be at like some New York Times event or something like that, you know. So like, I'm not convinced that, I think he's going to get away with it. You know, I'm not convinced, you know, that's how like shitty it works. You know, he bought everybody off. He bought off the politicians and stuff like that. So like he might get a pass, you know. So yeah, they might actually like make a big deal about something else to get the attention off of it. That I could see that happening. Like, oh, okay, well, don't look at FTX. Let's look over here. Look at this, and make a huge thing and like blow something up. Do I think that thing's gonna be hexed? Probably not, or otherwise it would have already happened. So I'm not really too worried about that. But I'm like, I think they're gonna make a big issue out of something else and kind of like sweep this under the rug. That's what I think is gonna happen. I think he's gonna totally get away with it. I mean, you've read the articles and stuff. Like the mainstream media is like, dude, they're backing him up because he's one of them. So yeah, should they be? Yeah, they should be. But are they going to be? I don't know about that. I'm not convinced, man. I'm just not convinced that that's going to happen. Marcel R. I want to greet Branny, who is on the way to night shift. Oh yeah, night shift. Oh man, yeah, Brandy's going to work at McDonald's. So Mintra is the Gerardo project. Word is he's refusing to wear a shirt. Ah, bro. I don't know, man. I don't know if I can get down with that. Super Snake, what's up, bro? How is it hanging today? It's going good today, guys. It's going good. I'm happy. I'm happy to be here. How do you guys like my new videos? A lot of work switching everything up, but I'm trying to get remonetized by YouTube. It's pretty painful. It was a pretty big hit. You know, but you guys keep me going. Crypto keeps me going, keeps my mind in the game and stuff like that. But yeah, you know, like between the market, YouTube after me and everything like that, it's been painful. I ain't gonna lie. It's been painful, but we're gonna keep trucking. And so in 5 days, on Wednesday, I'm headed to Qatar and I'm gonna go to the Japan game, the World Cup. So I'm gonna be there. I might make it a vlog. I don't know what I'm going to be doing. It's going to be, all right. So between November the 30th and December the 16th, I'm going to be traveling. So I'm going to be doing live streams and I'm going to be doing vlogs. I don't know what that's going to do to my channel, right? So I hope you like it. I don't know, but I'm going to be like talking shit and talking about the markets in the vlogs, but I'm not going to be behind a screen, right? So I'm going to do like, you know, drone, blah, 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 you know, the deal. Cool, like, edits and cuts and like show you what I'm doing and where I'm at, and then we'll talk about the market and what's going on and my perspectives on it. We'll see what happens. We'll see. Like I really don't know, you know, like what, I don't know if it's going to help the channel or hurt the channel, but we'll get through it, you know, and then we'll get back to the original programming. I mean, we're not missing much, trust me. And then once I get there, I'm going to be doing live streams. So Wednesday, I'm going to be in Qatar. And so I'll probably edit the video on my way to Thailand over that overnight flight and try to launch something. And then once it gets settled in, I'm going to do a live stream. So let's hope that pans out and we don't lose a bunch of subscribers, because it's been a grind, guys. It's been an absolute grind on this channel. It's not easy. Definitely not easy. It's painful, in fact. So maybe, yeah, maybe I'll come visit Brandy at McDonald's. So be mindful of love. Let's see. Oops. You think anyone really cares anymore, though? About what? Good, I'm dumping PLS. Thanks for your thoughts. No problem. How long until after launch do you expect the dip on PLSX to occur? I think it's going to happen right away, because people don't have shit to do. Because it's not going to be on a there's going to be no bridge, so it's going to be in its own ecosystem, and people are going to be excited, and they're going to have their wallets, and they're going to want PLS. Why wouldn't they? You know, who wants an exchange token? Nobody. Even if it does by itself. I mean, still. Cornholio, what's up? How long? Tech dude, what's up? Bear market will end in hex implosion and PLSX rug pull. Yeah, man. Okay. Yeah, that could, I mean, anything could happen. You know what I mean? Like, I've been here long enough to, like, I've been rugged dozens of times. You know, it wouldn't surprise me if something like that did happen, and I would move on, and I would keep going, and I would find new projects to get into, and I would ride the hype wave for the next thing, and just be, you know, like, every time, like the first time I ever got into something, somebody got me into crypto, and they go, okay, invest into this, buy this, but when you do, just expect that money is gone. Just expect that you threw it away. And that's really been my mind frame since. So yes, I did sack a lot, but if I lose it, I'm gonna survive. And I'm going to get on to the next pump rocket, and I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to rinse and repeat, and that's how it goes. So that's why you got to always keep your eyes open, you know, like, where's the development happening? Like, who's building? You know, really right now, only PLS people are building. Where are those people going to go? Is there somebody worth following? Is there a project worth following? You know, that's something that you got to keep in mind and listen, keep your ear to the streets. What's up, Michael? What up, bro? BTC Maxi entered the chat, mad that they are down in 5 years. Oof, that's painful. Imagine going below 10K. That would be capitulation in my opinion. I think everyone would just throw in the towel under 10K and say Bitcoin's dead. I really do. Imagine, you know. So now, typically, because here's why. Typically, that wouldn't happen. Typically, you know, we'll get our correction, blah, 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 and that's fine. But we're living in a different time. Bitcoin has never experienced a liquidity crunch like this. It's always lived since 2009 in an era of cheap, free, easy money. You know, a cheap quantitative easing era. Now we're having like an economic recession, and we're having a, you know, a liquidity crisis. So, I mean, it could go a lot lower than you think. And if it does do that, you know, I think a lot of people are going to give up and leave. You know, definitely under 9K, you know, I'm buying all kinds of stuff. I'm going on a shopping spree, and I'm going to ride it out. And I don't know if it's going to work out. Maybe it will. Maybe I'll go to 3K. I don't know. You know, like Cozy 19, a year and a half ago, two years ago almost, that was 3K. That was only 2 years ago. It could happen. Nobody thought. I got fudded out, remember? I got fudded out on Cozy 19 and ended up buying higher. So, you know, it could happen. But this time I'm ready. I'm more ready than I've ever been. All right? So let it happen. Bring the pain. All right? It's stub your toe. Tell the Maxi to check out PLSB. Tech dude, appreciate you streaming to us at the bottom. Helps me think straight rather than being scared by all the FUD out there. Yeah, I mean, it just depends on how you look at it. You know, like, yeah, I would be scared if I was 100% long or leverage long or something like that. I'd be freaked out. You know, that's why I don't do that kind of thing. You know, the main thing out of the stream, the main takeaway is I want you to think about what happened at the top. I want you to think about El Salvador buying. I want you to think about, you know, like, all of these countries are going to adopt Bitcoin, and like Africa, and they're having all these meetings. Remember, they're all flying to El Salvador. We're talking about volcano bonds, and Bitcoin is going to be mined by volcanic energy and all this like bullshit, like stupid shit, right? And everybody had laser eyes on Twitter. Everybody, Tom Brady, you know, like everybody had, we're all going to 100K. We're all going to make it. All this bullshit, you know, BitBoy, all this. Think about the euphoria of the moment. The like, it would be hard to sell, wouldn't it? It'd be tough because all of this euphoria, right? Inverse it. This is the one thing I want you to get from the stream. Inverse that. Flip it upside down. What's going on now? WBTC. We got WBTC. We got STETH. We got a collapse of the second largest exchange. You know, we have like Genesis. Freaking Genesis? Really? You know, like GBTC might go get dissolved. You know, like this is the most FUD that you could possibly get. We got the SEC coming out after DeFi projects. We got the SEC rumored to take out Ethereum. This is peak. This is reverse euphoria, right? This is peak FUD. So just remember that. And it's hard to buy because, oh shit, the shit's going lower. You know, it's hard to buy. Just remember that, you know? That's why it's good to have a plan. And the plan is simple. The plan is wait until it flushes down to the same target that we had when it was 55K. When I sold 65K, it took a little bit, but around 55K, I had the target of 14K, right? And it's not just pulling out of my ass, you know, from technical analysis, if you've been following along, right? So we've been following this, the 377 exponential moving average. Let's take a look. So we're either going to hit my target, you know, oh yeah, we got to go on the weekly chart, or we're going to have a confirmed reversal. Oops. Let's get in here. You know, right here, this was my target all along. Remember that? It's climbing now. It's climbing, but it's peaking. So this is my target, like right around here and down to 11K. This is where I'm going to start buying in here. Buying these dips. Literally like buying the dips, right? So this is my original plan. And if you let the FUD deviate you from your original plan, from your 14 to 10K buy area, you know, yes, you have to like take in the new data and make better decisions, but you can't get FUDded out of it either. Capitulation is in the mind, not on the chart, right? So I'm sticking with my plan. If it goes to 7K, let's say I buy 14, I buy 11, I buy 10. If it goes to 7K, cool. I took a 39% haircut, fine. I'm holding, my time horizon is for a year, 2 years. I'm good. You know, so that's kind of how, that's how you got to think about it to win. Because inverse that, this is what I was thinking today. I'm like, dude, I remember how the crazy euphoria, and I was like, this is good. 65K is good enough for me. You know, 65K, it could go higher. You know, I really didn't believe we were going to hit 100K because the herd is always wrong. And crypto moves in the path of most destruction. So I really didn't believe we were going to hit 100K anyway. I was going to sell 90K. But so everybody else was thinking that too. Then the guy's like, well, everyone's thinking 90K, so I'm going to sell 85K. And then it just kind of like gets front run until it never happens. You know, so that's kind of, I was feeling that was going to happen. You know, but I already told people, I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah. You've seen when I sold on this channel, I was like, I wasn't super sure about it. I was just like, hey, you know, it could probably go higher and things like that, but I'm just letting you know I'm selling here. You know, yes, it probably will go higher. I have no idea. You know, like that was like how I said it. I wasn't like, this is the top or anything like that. Neither was most people, right? So this is the same thing that I'm thinking on the bottom here. Like, dude, I'm buying this longest EMA. And remember how we came up with that? Because during the last bull market, we were buying here. Or last bear market bottom, we were buying here. The 200 exponential moving average for the first time showed up on Bitcoin. And that's where it found its support. You know, yeah, we did punch through that. That was the cozy 19 FUD, you know, like it was just pure craziness. So, so yeah, so now we have the 377 come up for the first time. And I believe that we're going to find support here. I think we could chop through and do some crazy shit. You know, like we could do this, but we'll get like candle body closes. This is my prediction. You know, I think now let's take a look where the point of control is here on this. We're looking at log scale, you know. Let's take a look here. It's at 1300, so you don't want to look at that. Let's take a look at the point of control on this area where we at. It's like below it. So that's not good. No, here we go. You know, about 8K, which, you know, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if something like that happened. That's why I'm not buying yet, because I think being down 50% is really hard. And that's not the kind of life I want to live. I don't want to wake up every day and be like, damn, I'm down 50% after fucking holding USDC for how long? You know, for a year and watching this stupid shit go down for a year. Now I'm down 50%. Doesn't feel good. So I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait until we get confirmation on the S&P. Because I think that's going to be the front runner of what's going on. Because the S&P is already pulling it up. So let's take a look at the S&P. Look at that. right? So we're still rejecting that. This is telling. We're still rejecting the 89 right here. This one, let's take a look. Yep, it is the 89. I never use it, so the 89, well, that's really interesting. I haven't seen that before. You can see that we have confirmed, we took out this high. We've confirmed the weekly uptrend on the S&P 500. So watch out, because, dude, this shit could run to this pivot, this trend line right here. You can see how it's rejected this trend line. Since when? Since all of this happened. Monday, the 27th of December, we've been in a downtrend, a steep downtrend in the S&P 500, and we have we have gained the support. Look at what happened last time. Let's take a look at this. This is really interesting, actually. So on the S&P 500, remember, crypto's just leveraged position of S&P. So whatever S&P does, crypto does, unless there's some massive flood like right now. So you can see here, we did gain the daily uptrend here. You can see we took this out, and then we were above the 21 exponential moving average. And then what happens when that happens? It pops like a mother, right? You can see right here, this is barely a confirmation, and then pop, doji. Same thing. Okay, now we found support, popped on this trend line. This means that we are not ready to be out of this bear trend, okay? And this has weight. We're talking December 27, 2021, so it's been about a year. We've been in this downtrend for about a year, right? So now what happened? Boom, we have a doji. We have a doji on last week, or no, 2 weeks ago, but found some support, popped up. Rejected by the 89. There's a good probability. I think the probabilities are to the upside on this thing. And then we got to take this out. So 4,100, we take this out. We get a confirmation above this trend line right here. I mean, everybody, the entire planet's looking at this. The S&P 500 is the accumulation of all the world's wealth and progress, right? This is the most important thing to look at, period. So if you want to know what happens with Bitcoin, before what happens in Bitcoin, this is what you look at, right? So now we have this, that we closed, right? The 22nd we closed, and that is a bullish candle, right? It's at resistance. It's heavy resistance, I ain't gonna lie. But we do have a confirmation. We're above the S1 pivot. There's a good probability we run this right up here. Now, how do I know that I missed the bottom? We pop out of here. That's how everybody knows. You know, we're talking about the biggest, most major funds in the world are in this shit. The most money that's in the world in anything is into this. You know how the most money in crypto is in Bitcoin? The most money on the planet is in this. This is your indicator. This is how we know we're wrong. The S&P 500 pops above this trend line. Now, it could be a fake out. You know what I'm saying? Yes, that's possible, but the probabilities are not. So you have to go and play. You have to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, yo, okay, I might have been wrong. I'm going to go ahead and buy here. And, you know, I missed this little pop here, but if the S&P 500 goes to 5K, you know what I mean? Bitcoin's going to rally like crazy. Could it do something shitty and like pop up to 5K and then lower lows? Yeah, it could. But I think we're out of the worst of it. I think we're out of the worst of the bear market. That's my opinion. You know, it's not financial advice. It's just my opinion. And it's interesting is here's the fake out. You know, here's the 200 exponential moving average. Let's take a look and see what that looks like. You know, yeah, there's the cozy 19 dip on the S&P right here. It went to the 377, right? Oops. It went to the 377. That's where this longest EMA, last chance qualifier EMA, this one right here, this is where it went to during the cozy 19 lows. I think it's very important. This is the last EMA that people care about. This is the last line of support, you know? Other than this, it's like Great Depression time. So look, it's finding support on the 200, the 200, the 200, the 200. You know, right here, dang. 2009, yeah, this is the GFC, the Great Financial Crisis. It went right through there. But when here's the thing about charting. When you see it bound up like this, when all of these EMAs are bunched up, they become irrelevant. So that's just one thing that you should know, that they become irrelevant. And you want to see my trading strategy versus the S&P 500? Let's take a closer look. You can see us gain the 21 exponential moving average. This is what I call the daily uptrend, right? But this is the weekly uptrend, right? So what do we do? Yeah, we had some volatility right here, but bam, look how smooth this is. This is what a bull market looks like. Look at all this support on the 21. This is why I put so much. This is kind of my own thing. Maybe other people talk about it, but this is where I'm at right here. Dude, this right here. Bam, 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 bam. Beautiful. Big fake out. Now, 2016, here we go. We got a big fake out right here. What happened? Right? 200 exponential moving average. Support. So the trend is your friend until the end of the trend, right? What do we have right here? Support. Cozy 19, it's hard to, you know, like the sheer panic of that, you know. Then the climb out. What happens? We gain the 21 exponential moving average. Pop, 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 pop. That is what a bull market looks like. Every time it touches this line, you buy. That's the point. And then what happens when we lose the 21, right? When we lose the 21, look how fanned out it is. Look, this is crazy. Look at that divergence from the 200. This is a huge sell signal. And then what happens? Pop through the 21, reject, confirmation, fake out, bam. And then keep going fake outs. But yeah, I mean, these are some nasty dead cat bounces. This is a descending broadening wedge right here, which is eventually it's going to resolve to the upside. So could it dump to 3,200? That's what a lot of people are saying is going to happen. Is going to be the bottom. That's what I think is going to happen. If you want to know what I think, and I've been right like 98% of the time if you follow this channel, and this is a big ballsy thing to do, is to be like, yo, I'm going to guess what the S&P is doing. I'm going to guess like better than what Merrill Lynch thinks. I'm going to guess better than, you know, like what JP Morgan analysts think. But I'm just going to go out on a limb here. Remember, I called this. I drew this trend line and called it. And then, yes, this trend line is everywhere now, but still, I didn't see it anywhere. I just drew it. I'm like, yo, it's about to reject right here. And it did and set new lows, confirming the dead cat bounce. So I'm going to go on a limb here. Like, look, we lost this. The last time we lost the 200 was Cozy 19 panic. And before that, it was the great financial crisis. Now we are in another financial crisis, a big one, right? We have massive inflation. We have war. We're tightening. The Fed is deleveraging. They're not buying. There's no QE, right? And they're still tightening. They're going to tighten next month. They're going to tighten the month after that. Their terminal rate, which means where they're going to stop, is between 5 and 6%. Currently, we're at 4%. So we have 2% more of FUD and tightening to go, right? And as these companies like Google and all these ones, and you know, they're all laying off and shit like that. So we still have some tightening left to go, right? And there always is the possibility of something breaking. I think this is an early front run because we're not raising 75 basis points. That's why this rally happened. Remember, because we're getting close to the terminal rate. That's why this rally happened. There's a lot of excess money in the system, and they're hoping to get in early. They're buying the dip, right? I think it's too early. I think that this is a great place to buy. I mean, historically, back to the GFC, this is where people bought, right? So you'd be crazy not to buy here. You'd be crazy not to gamble here. But once they realize that we didn't break this trend line, it's going to go lower just like this. I think we're going to go to the 377. I think we're going to go to the S3. I think that's going to drag down crypto. That's now, does that guarantee that's going to happen? No. I mean, of course not. I don't fucking know. But this is the highest probability. You know, so eat your heart out, JP Morgan analysts, because this is what I think is going to happen. I think we're going to come up here. I think we're going to reject and go lower. I think it's going to sink the crypto market. And I think that's going to be pretty close to capitulation. I wouldn't be surprised if we found some support here because the world's coming back online. You know, the world productivity is coming back online, and that is what the S&P 500 measures, because that's where all the money's at. So, anyways, sorry about that big ass rant there, but I'm finally getting a little bit comfortable. I was super like uncomfortable right away because I've not been streaming that much, but yeah, I need to get that out. That's if we pop out of here, then I'm gonna say I'm wrong, and then I'll be fine buying. But until we pop out of here, I'm not buying Bitcoin. And then after we pop out of there, then I start looking at Bitcoin and seeing if it's actually responding. You know, because here's where we're at. We're at R377, which just printed for the first time. Anyways, sorry guys, I don't want to get stuck on that too long. Yeah, and I think that came off of Tech Dude, so shout out to you, Marcel. I was talking about keeping up with PulseChain. Oh yeah, keeping up with it. Yeah, you can't sleep on it. I've been sleeping on it. They have those long, drawn out Twitter spaces, and all they're doing is shilling their own shit, and you know, like it's just their chance to shill their bag, you know, and it's just disgusting, you know what I mean? But like, there's a lot of good nuggets of information in there if you can sit through all the torture of everybody shilling their bags. If you can sit through all that, I think there's some nuggets of information that will propel you forward to the next bull market if PulseChain ever launches. Imagine noobs that bought BTC top. They must be having nightmares. I think they capitulated already. I think they lost money and they left, and they are rooting against it. There's a whole Reddit thread called Buttcoin, B-U-T-T coin, and it's all the wrecked plebes. They got wrecked and they're cheering against Bitcoin. They're cheering against crypto. I think that's what happened. But the funny thing is like hate and love there's a very blurred line between hate and love, and I think that it could be switched easily, right? So like you could love somebody and then hate them the next day very easily, right? And I think it reverses too. You know, if you're giving a lot of your energy and mental processing power and time of day into hating something, I think if that thing starts pumping, I think that will quickly flip to love. And I think those people at Buttcoin and all those guys, I think they're going to start buying. And the big time haters and the people that got hurt, I think they're going to be back to buy the top and get hurt again. That's right. Tech dude, yes, Hands, please stream with you. Yes, dude, Hands, let's stream, bro. Aren't you like you're like a known Hexagon, right? Hans, right? Like you stream with Discord, is that true? Is it true? If you're still here, type it in there. Yeah, I think I know you, dude. I think I listened to you before. Last, I was a wise man once said, capitulation is in the mind. Yes. So don't get fudded out. Glad to be here. Thank you. I'm glad you're here. Had a little bit of a rough start. I was a little shaky, kind of nervous. These things make me nervous, you know? Like, it's easy to do a video, but to do a live stream, then I kind of get tongue-tied and shit. But I'm feeling pretty good right now. So let's roll. Let's rock with this. I'm glad you're here. Tech dude, have you ever thought about giving up on this channel because it was such a grind? I hope for us. Don't... Yeah, dude, I have been thinking, like, man, a couple times, you know, when I got demonetized, it was rough. And then the last video I did, I was talking about the God Whale, and I was talking about how he either sold or is like giving money to people who sold. You know, we followed his wallets, or like, it wasn't technically his wallet. It was technically like he funded a wallet and then another person funded that wallet. And then that other person that's associated with the Godwell wallet, which is probably one of his daughters, sent it to another wallet that was a distribution wallet that sent it to a bunch of different wallets that sold. So either he mixed up, he crossed his lines and showed his daughter, or it could have been somebody else completely that's not the God Whale that also funded somebody else. You know, but you know how this works. You know, when you try to hide your tracks, you know, you send it to a bunch of different wallets, and he crossed his wallets right there. So when I made that video, you know, I lost like 4 subscribers, and it's like, damn, bro, like I was under 1,400. That's what was killing me. I was like, damn, bro, I'm under 1,400. Fuck. You know, like I'm going backwards, and like and YouTube hates me and all this shit, and I'm like, and some days I'll like be in front of the camera and like words don't come out right, and it takes me hours and shit, and I'm like, dude, why the fuck am I doing this? You know, like, why am I doing this shit? I can do better stuff, and like I can make money. I'm not making any money. I'm not like you know, whatever. I'm not changing anything, but I do enjoy it. I really do. I enjoy making videos, and the thing about the data is I'm already collecting the data. So like if I quit this channel, I would still be doing the same thing. I would still be collecting the data. Crypto is my entertainment, you know, and that's what I was trying to paint in this channel. And that's the channel that I'm building, you know, like Cryptotainment. Like, this is why, you know, like some people are cheering for their favorite football team. We're cheering for our favorite coins. You know, that's basically what keeps me going, is because I already have all this information anyway. And I just, yeah, it hurts sometimes, bro. It's hard sometimes. Mr. Crypto J, it is torture. Yes, it is. Listening to those are absolute torture. I like listening to like Funding Jim. I like listening to Richard, a couple other people. But man, like Johnny Chaos starts talking or something, bro, shut that shit off. Your teeth are so white. That's because I have veneers. So I have veneers. I got a full set of veneers. I fixed my eyes. Like, my eyes were like shot. Yeah, so I've had some work done. Yeah, so these aren't real. They're porcelain. I had jacked up teeth. Like I used to fight and stuff like that, not just bar, but like in the cage, and like my teeth were all jacked up and jagged and like yellow. It looked like I was eating raw raccoons and tree branches and shit. So I decided, yo, I'm just gonna go ahead and get veneers because I had the money, So I blew a lot of money. Yeah. So I blew a lot of money on some teeth, but I think they worked out. Like it's nice. It's not cheap or anything like that, but and they hurt. They hurt like when I'm eating ice cream and stuff. They're extra sensitive. So, but they'll never tarnish. Like people give me shit about it too. Like, and like I'll like someone will walk into the bar and be like, dude, I saw your teeth shining from outside the bar and all this shit. Like cracking on me, or like when I talk to people sometimes, like the camera doesn't do it justice. Like when I talk to people, I notice that they're just staring at my mouth. They're just like, instead of looking me in the eye, they're like looking at my mouth, and it makes me really weird. I'm like, oh shit. Or like, say you got a girlfriend or whatever, and then you're both taking a picture, and then your teeth are like bling, like a TV commercial, and then I notice like she won't smile, or like she'll feel awkward or look awkward. So they're too white. This is called BL1. This is the brightest white you can get. I was like, shit, if I'm spending all this money, I'm gonna get the whitest ones you can get. So yeah, so it has its drawbacks and it has its benefits. Like, yeah, they're super white, like, and they draw a lot of attention. It's basically like having gold teeth, or like diamond teeth or something, it draws that much attention, but it also is like makes people feel uncomfortable and weird, especially if you're talking to someone and they have jacked up teeth, and then you can see them just like get insecure. And I'm like, shit, don't get insecure. I don't care about your teeth, like my shit was more jacked up than yours was, but yeah, these are veneers. These aren't even real. This is fake. And also, I got them sharpened too. I got last time I went and got a checkup, and they like adjust them or like make sure everything's cool. Make sure you don't have like whatever. I had them sharpened, so like I got little fangs and shit. So yeah, I got fake porcelain fangs. So congratulations to me. Crazy, man. So yeah, that's why I'm at. Win PP Island again. Hell yeah. So Qatar, Bangkok, PP Island, Phuket, and I'm gonna be sharing it with you guys. And all right, so I got one thing that I wanted to tell you. It's the end of the stream anyway, so I wanted to tell you this. So I'm thinking about doing like an overnighter on a deserted island, right? So here's what I like. One channel that I watch a lot is called Survival Beast, and it's this Australian guy. Shout out to my Aussies. Shout out to Dark Savant, and man, I know I'm missing some of you guys. Jack, whatever. Shout out to you guys. So there's an Australian guy. It's a channel called Survival Beast, and he like got trapped in Papua New Guinea or something like that, like somewhere in SEA, like Southeast Asia, and he couldn't come back. So he started doing YouTube videos of him like surviving on desert islands by himself, and he'll like have a spear, and there's like his GoPro, and then he like swims, and then he'll like stab a fish, and then he'll do like a catch and cook. He'll like just make a fire and then cook it on the fire. Or like, dude, he caught a lobster like huge, right? Like a monster lobster and stuff like that, and cooked it. But anyway, so I was thinking about doing that, and I was thinking about filming it and putting it on the channel, and then like talking about my like motivational shit, like, I've done pretty good in crypto. I have my own business. I do pretty good, and like kind of like a pep talk, like stay strong in the bear market. Check this shit out. I'm like out here like in the middle of Asia on a deserted island, spearing fish and cooking them on coals. Like I was thinking about actually doing that. So there's a high probability I do that. And like so that'll be like one video, and of course I have a drone, dude. I have a fucking drone, so it'll be like, if you've seen any of my previous vlogs, it'll be like drone shots, high-end editing to video to music. Now I just don't know what it's going to do to the channel, and at this point it's like, dude, you know what, I don't have shit to
Hello.